headquarters of common sense.
Talk Radio.
You're just the person to talk to about all of this. The BBC, in its magnanimity, has decided that from now on it's going to employ far more people from the lower orders, working class sort of people, the sort of people it has always rejected in the past, preferring, of course, those who went to Eton and other public schools, and, of course, Oxford and Cambridge universities. It needs to be more diverse. This comes after Nadine Dorries, the Culture Secretary, said it was a snobbish organisation, which of course it is. I suppose this is an effort to redress the balance, but it's incredibly patronising. How do they decide whether or not applicants for jobs are working class or lower class? They ask them what their parents did for a living. Now, you're a young guy, not so long out of the educational system. I know you went to Kent University, didn't you?
Unfortunately, yeah.
But don't get me wrong, but I don't think you went to public school or anything like that, did you?
No, I actually was one of the kids on the broker side who went to a grammar school. And I can tell you what, there was quite a lot of, well, my mummy and daddy bought me an iPhone way back in the day, so...
So how, I mean, the point is, if you're in Britain, what we're talking about, the BBC is the epitome of the ludicrous class system that prevails in this country. And we know what it's like. It's like an affliction. Every time you meet someone, you can't stop yourself. I don't want to do this, but you do it, I do it, everybody in Britain does it. You make the judgment, don't you? What is this person? Upper class, lower middle class. Well, what do your parents do? That's what we do in this country. We can't help it. It's in our DNA. It's wrong and it's stupid. And in some ways, I kind of applaud the BBC for at least trying to redress the balance, although it's against my religion to applaud the BBC. However, would you say the class system has affected you?
Well, I don't actually trust the BBC to address this all that well, because I looked at their annual review, which is where the proposals have come out of, and this proposal was published after Nadine Dorries basically put the fear of God in them with that wet weekend level freeze on the licence fee. And I had a quick search in there, and there are 73 mentions of the word diverse and diversity, as expected, but there's 0 for working class, and there's 2 for low income. And when it says low income, they don't, as you said, lay out what exactly low income means. They don't lay out a wage bracket. It's just, what did your mum and dad do? And my dad, he's a plumber. He's crawled through more duct work than Bruce Willis did in Die Hard.
Your dad's a plumber. Does your mum have a job?
Yes. She's basically does pastoral care in a state school. So looking after kids.
So the BBC, I think, would probably...
Give him my own show by tomorrow night?
No, they probably get you down for working class, although because of your mum, you might just about get lower middle class. I'd probably be lower middle class because my father was a sort of civil servant, but we weren't exactly bathed in riches, and they certainly couldn't afford to send me to a public school.
Well, I was going to say...
How has that affected you, though, Connor? You're a clever guy. If you'd have gone to Eton, you'd have gone to Oxford and Cambridge, wouldn't you?
Oh, I don't know about that.
You would have done. You just would have done.
See what I'm saying? Possibly. I did have a slightly rougher time at school, so maybe that inhibited my GCSEs and A levels. But this is my concern with the BBC, right? Is I don't trust them to define working class properly. Because when we spoke a while ago about all their new recent hires in the diversity department, like June Sarpong and the like, we spoke about how they buy the Guardian newspaper endlessly, and the Guardian claims to be so left wing that they claim to be a champion for the common man. But everyone's favourite socialists, like Owen Jones and Ash Sarkar, keep redefining the term working class to be, only oppressed ethnic minorities, even though the government's recent report said, working class white boys are unlikely to go to university or get high incomes and things like that. So I just wonder if this is another way of the BBC's pushing their diversity quota without actually addressing the problem of the ladder being pulled up after people. I think actually the diversity SARs and the things like that are the new aristocracy. And I think a lot of white working class lads probably aren't getting the same opportunities in media, in government, etc.
Yeah, I agree with that. And although loads of organisations say, the dark days of only employing upper class people who went to private schools and Oxford and Cambridge, they're over now. But it is a system that still prevails, trust me. And still at the BBC, if you went to Eton and Oxford, you got a much better chance of getting in than if you went to the local comprehensive, and if I may say so, if your dad was a plumber.
Yeah, well, I think my family are quite shocked that I've made it this far as well. I was one of the less practical sides, but I don't think there was going to be much support if I came knocking on the BBC's doors, for example, when they got found out to be against the Equality Commission for having BAME-only research jobs. I don't see why my income, why my start in life, or my skin colour or my gender should make me any less capable of doing a job. Clearly, the BBC thinks so, and I don't understand why we as taxpayers are forced to pay the salaries of people that think that way.
Couldn't agree more. Of course, what the BBC are really doing with this kind of working class employment drive is to try to keep hold of the licence fee. That's all it is. Their snobbery will continue to rule the roost there. Connor, good to talk to you again. We'll get you on next week. Nice to talk to Connor.
Good talk.
Hot talk. Bold talk. Talk radio.
Listen on your smart speaker.
Watch it live on your smart TV.
The world headquarters of common sense.
Talk Radio.